everyone, this is Maham Shaki and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video, we are going to do 3 Python programs that will definitely enhance your skills as a Python beginner. So without further delay, let's get jump into my computer screen. So yeah, here in my terminal, I am going to make a new file. I need to save this file. So I'm saving this file as test2.py. Now we have a file here. So our first task was to swap two numbers. So for that we need to make a variable. So I am making a variable x and I'm going to take input from the user. Like in Python we take input like this. I just used int built-in function in Python to make sure that it's a number, and I'm going to take input from the user and let's write something here. I'm writing that enter a value of x. Here we go. Now we need to do the same with y. I'm just assigning this variable as y, and the same, I'm taking input from the user. I'm writing here that enter a value of y. Now finally we need to just close the parentheses. We are successfully taking two numbers input from the user here by writing two lines of code, right? Now we need to do what? We need to swap two numbers. In Python we can do this task in a different way, you can swap numbers in many different patterns, but I am going to do one thing. I am going to make one new variable. You can call it a temporary variable. I'm just making a variable named z, and I'm just assigning x into it so that it will get the value of x. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to assign the x value into y because we need to swap two values. Now what I am going to do the next, I'm going to assign the y value into that temporary variable that we made so that it will easily swap two numbers. This 3 lines of code will help us to swap the numbers. Let's see. Now we need to print something on a terminal so that it may look good. I'm just printing this. I'm just printing the value of x after swapping. We need to print x on the terminal. So how we print? We write simply x. We need to do the same with y value. Here we go. So here we successfully able to swap two numbers. Let's just run the code and see how it works, or is it working or not. So I am writing here, I'm just running the code. Yeah, it's taking input, it's taking the value of x. I'm going to give it 3. Now it's checking the value of y. I'm going to take it 7. See, the value of x after swapping is 7. It swapped the value of y to the x, and the value of y after swapping is 3. So this code is successfully working. This is so okay. So now let's move to our second task. Our second task was to check if the number user input is positive, negative, or if it's 0. So for that we will definitely have to use a condition here, if and else condition are going in your way. So let's just start it from here. I got a file named test3.py, and for that we need to take an input from the user, right? So I'm going to take an input from the user and assigning it with a variable named num here. So let's just take an input from the user, write something. I'm writing here that enter a number. Oops, it makes a mistake. Okay, let's just close the parentheses. Oh my god, what's wrong with you? I'm writing here that enter a number simply. And closing the parentheses. Now, after taking input from the user, we need to check the input user did is positive, negative. So for that, I'm going to use if here. And after writing if, we need to put on the condition. So I am going to write a condition called num. If the number user inputted is greater than 0, we need to use, if the number user input is greater than 0, what we are going to print on the terminal, that the number definitely is going to be positive, right? So that the number user input is going to be positive, so we need to print it on our terminal. Now after this condition, we will use else if here, cause if the number is not greater than 0, if the number is lesser than 0, then what we are going to print. So if the number is lesser than 0, we are going to write else if here. In short form, you can write elif too. So let's just take elif here, and we need to write one more condition. I'm going to write if the number is lesser than 0. So now we are going to print that number user input is negative. What else if the number user input is 0? So for that, we will have one more condition. I'm going to use elif here again, and then if number is equal to 0, so what we are going to print on a terminal is that the number the user input is going to be 0. So if the number is greater than 0, this condition is going to be fulfilled and the loop is going to be break from here. If the number is lesser than 0, so this condition is going to be false and the loop is going to come here and it's going to break here. If the number is equal to 0, 0, so this both loop is going to be false and this one is going to be true. So let's just run this and see if it's working or not. Okay, it's taking number input from me. I'm just writing 34 here. Number is positive. Let's just try it from a negative number here. I'm going to give -7 here, and the number is negative. See, it's completely and successfully checking that the number we have enter or user input enter is positive, negative, or it's 0. So yes, our third task is going to be that the printing the power of any number. So yes, our third task is that we are going to print the power of any number on a terminal by using a anonymous function in Python. If you don't know about the anonymous function, go check my previous video. It's called lambda function. So I'm going to tell you about it later, like by writing a code. So for that, we need to take a terms from the user, like we are also taking input from the user. I'm going to assign this variable as a terms, and we are going to ask from the user that how much the number of power they want from us. Okay, so let's write something. It's going to be numbers, so we are writing int here. Definitely let's write enter a terms. Now in the second line of code, we need to print the results. We are just writing it results. So yes, for our third task, we need to print the power of any number on a terminal using an anonymous function in Python named lambda. If you don't know about this function, just go check my previous video and you will get to know about it. So for that program, right, we need to take input from the user that how much terms they want us to print, how much the power of they want us to print, power of any number they want us to print, right? So for that, I'm going to assign a variable named terms here. I'm going to take an input from the user. It's definitely going to be a number, so that's why I put on int here. Just let's write something here that the enter terms you want, or whatever you can write you want. I'm just writing here that enter a terms. Okay, so we are successfully taking input from the user. Now we need to print the numbers. Okay, print the power of any number. So I'm just writing we need to assign one more variable here. I'm just writing it result. Now this is the important thing. I am going to use a built-in function of Python, which is list. What this function does, this function print out any number into a list format. And after that, I am going to use one more built-in function in Python which help us to print the power of any number. This function is called map. So let's just use one more parenthesis inside it. And now this time to use our anonymous function in Python, which names lambda. So we just assign this lambda anonymous function into any variable. I'm just writing x here. Let's just use colon here. Now we need to write a number, we want a power of it. I am going to write, let's just write 2 here. I want a power of 2. So let's just write, for power we use 2 asterisk in Python. So I'm going to write 2 asterisk here, and let's put into x here. So this anonymous function is going to take a power of the terms that we have entered here, right? Now after that, let's just use one more built-in function of Python, which is range, which takes all of the terms inside. It will make our program easier to print. So I am assigning terms inside this range function, and now we need to print something on the screen. I'm going to write printing the terms that the user have input. So we need to print terms on our screen. So let's just write the terms you entered. Print here terms. Now for printing the power of a number, I am going to use a for loop here. So for loop will help us to print the power of a number. So I'm going to write for I in range. The range is going to take terms inside. Now we need to print something. So I'm going to print that the power of the power, the 2 raised to power. Now we need to print the value, which is going to be I here. Now let's just complete the sentence by adding is here, and now print the result. So I am writing the result, and it's going to take I inside. So yeah, this program seems good to me. Let's just finger cross and run this. I hope it's not give us any error. I'm going to write here yeah, it's asking a terms from us. So I'm going to write 6. So yes, see, it's going to give us this number, and yeah, for we have used a range function here. So if when you put range, it's started from the 0. So if you want the power of 2, the power like 2 raised to power 6 you want, so if you had to put 7 here, so that it can count it from the 0 and it's going to get to the 7, right? So let's just try it by one more time. And now this time I want to know that what is that 2 raised to power 100 here. So I'm going to write 101 here. Let's just write 101. Okay, so we have got our output. So that's it for the video, guys. I have done my 3 tasks successfully, and what about you? I'm going to give you 2 tasks at the end of this video. Just try it out. If you do, just let me know in the comment below, and if you like my content, just like, share.